Alright, guys, thank you for your questions. I will answer those in an interesting way. I'm going to do 20 minutes of cardio. Okay, most of that being high intensity. I'm going to try to answer your questions right after. Should be pretty entertaining. Oh my god, guys. So this blade of freaking grass took up like 90% of the focus of this entire video. I'm gonna put it on fast forward times 10. Go ahead and skip to the 3-minute mark to get to the questions, or just enjoy this blade of grass and the out of focus me doing a bunch of cardio. Fast forward for 20 minutes. Peace. Alright, guys, here's about 20 minutes of high intensity cardio. Holy crap. Oh, okay, questions. What do we got here? Alright. Nick Jenkins says, what is your martial arts background? Have you competed in any tournaments? I remember watching you annihilate the bag with crow cop kicks. Also, a shorter question, what is the heaviest gripper you've ever closed? Alright. Thank you, Nick. Love your channel, by the way. Glad to see you're back in good health. Keep crushing it. Now, my martial arts background, essentially, I started Taekwondo when I was a teenager with a friend of mine. Didn't take it too seriously, but was doing it, with him, having fun. When I got into college, I took up Muay Thai, kickboxing. Did that for about a year. Then, this was like part of an MMA class, so I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. And I liked that a lot more, so I dropped the Muay Thai and stuck with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for about 4 years. My whole time in college. Now, of course, I was studying at the time, So it wasn't like I was getting like any crazy consistent training in, but I do have this 4 years under my belt. I never got a rank in those in Muay Thai or Jiu-Jitsu because I lacked the money. At the time I was a broke college student, and our instructor was a brand new black belt in Jiu-Jitsu through Alliance under I think it's Jean-Jacques Machado in Atlanta. So what I would have had to do to get a belt was drive to Atlanta and pay like $200 or some kind of crazy shit to even test, and did not have that money, so never even got a white belt. Technically, I barely did any gi stuff, never bought a gi, did mostly no gi for like MMA. Now after college I got back into Taekwondo and just hit it like hard, you know what I mean? Was out of school, had a full-time job, and was just hitting the Taekwondo mad hard for like 7 years straight. And I got somewhat recently my 4th degree black belt in World Taekwondo Federation, and I also was awarded just recently my 5th degree black belt in Shungdo Kwan, which is essentially my instructor's lineage. If you know anything about the history of Taekwondo, there was a bunch of like traditional, long-running martial arts schools in Korea that came together with the government in like, I want to say 73 or something, 1973 I believe, and they kind of came together and created Taekwondo. So I got that 5th degree black belt in this style, which is like kind of a precursor to Taekwondo, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's some martial arts background. Now in terms of tournaments, again, when I was super competitive about it, I had no money to do kickboxing or jiu-jitsu, so never did tournaments there. I've been to tournaments in Taekwondo but never competed, because at that point I was like in my mid-20s and I had like really no competition other than like, somebody's like dad, you know what I mean? Which I don't want to beat up like, somebody's father who has like a pot belly, you know what I mean? I was super in shape back then, and there's no point in doing that or wasting money to do it. So I coached the children and teenagers instead. So yeah, no tournaments ever. So I have sparred a lot in many different gyms in Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, and Taekwondo. All right, next question was, so the heaviest gripper I've ever closed. I never trained grippers that much, but I have closed the COC 1.5. Not sure what the resistance is on that. You probably know, Nick, you're like the expert on that kind of thing. All right, man, next question. Avery Cruz, my good bud, have you hit any plateaus in anything you've done, and how did you overcome it? That's a really good question, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, of course, man. Everybody hits plateaus if they're doing something long enough and they're human. They're not on like horse steroids, you know what I mean? But the way to overcome plateau, in my opinion, is with strength and conditioning work. Okay, and you want to gear it towards improving your weaknesses. Okay, your perceived weaknesses in whatever sport you're doing. So right now, in climbing, for instance, I feel like my left arm is not very strong, so I struggle with pulling to like really high holds with my left side of my body. And also, in general, like, I feel like my hips, my glutes and hamstrings could use some extra work. And also, like, I don't know, just like grip strength in general, obviously, which is often the limiting factor in bouldering and climbing. So what I'll do, man, to overcome that is, I'll just do some strength training to kind of get those parts of my body like up to par with the rest of my body. That's only one example of how to overcome a plateau. Another example would be like, you might just have some imbalances in your body. And again, that's something that'll be, addressed in your strength and conditioning program. Let's say right now, my pressing strength isn't that great. And I feel like that causes me some shoulder problems because like my back is way stronger than my chest. So I'm doing a little bit more pressing to kind of address that issue and alleviate my current shoulder pain. It's like not great pain, but I feel like if I continued along that path without doing any pressing, any pushing training, my shoulder pain would get worse and worse, and that would affect how I climb. Okay, so stuff like that, man. I hope that makes sense. Another thing is like, if you're doing something, let me put it this way. I feel like the term plateau is one of these kind of like jargon terms that gets thrown around a lot, you know what I mean? And I'll tell you what, when I was a swimmer, first part of my athletic career, from the age of 5 to 18, I was a competitive swimmer. And I didn't know anything really about training. I didn't know what, plateau meant, other than literally a freaking flat mountaintop or whatever. I had no idea what that meant in terms of training. And I'm sure there were times when I probably hit a plateau and was not improving my swimming, but I never gave a shit, and I just kept grinding, and year by year I got better and better. I may not have improved at all in even a 3 or 4 month time span, but just kept doing it, kept having fun, which is probably the most important. Kept having a positive attitude and a passion for it. Just kept doing it anyway, and not giving a fuck, and I still improved year after year after year. So keep that in mind too. Don't worry too much. You might perceive that you've hit a plateau, when in reality it's just a little speed bump on your way to success, you know what I mean? So good question, man, appreciate that. Now Shiki Baby says, what do you do for a living? It seems like a shitload about anatomy and physiology. Just wondering if you have a medical background. And Iron Maiden for the win. Bring your daughter to the slaughter. Yeah, man, Iron Maiden rules. Appreciate your question, and I appreciate your videos too, man. Great channel. Keep grinding out there. What I do for a living, I don't want to get too specific about that, because I want to kind of separate my work from this. I don't want anybody finding these videos who I work with, ideally, because I do tend to cuss and stuff every now and then, and I feel like that could be problematic. But we'll tell you, I work for the Department of Agriculture as a contractor, and that's all I'm going to say for now. And let's see, what else? Oh yeah, it seems like you know a lot about anatomy and physiology. Do you have a medical background? No, but I did study exercise science and dietetics, which is just a academic jargon word for nutrition. I did not get a degree in those. I ended up changing my major a few years in to philosophy, and I have a degree in philosophy. But yeah, man, I just kept that interest in those subjects and kept kind of researching them on my own, as well as continuing to exercise and apply the new knowledge I've gained. So it's just kind of a hobby of mine to kind of be knowledgeable and learn more about that kind of thing. Exercise, physiology, anatomy, nutrition, whatever. I think that's about it. Some other folks left some kind comments, so shout out to Dose of Fitness, Mitra Art, Ill Lieb, really kind comment, dude, appreciate you. Proximity One, who was also a fan of Iron Maiden. Hell yeah, dude. By the way, I also enjoy your climbing videos, dude. Get a lot of inspiration from you. You're a young guy, but you're like crushing it. Keep crushing it, and also keep up the guitar playing. You're pretty sick, dude. Maybe do some Iron Maiden covers soon. I'll watch that, dude. Now shout out to Mr. Climber as well, another good climbing channel. Whew. Sweating up my journal right now. Got this all like written down. Yeah, shout out to Mr. Climber. He kind of trolled me on my community post, and he says, "Have you ever been so far as to decide what could have been?" Total like trollish nonsense question. I assume that's some kind of meme or something. I don't know. I'm like almost a boomer. I'm 30. I'm going on 32 in like a month. So I don't know what the hell that means. I feel like you're around my age though. By the way, man, great videos. Come, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think you told me you're up in North Alabama. I could be wrong about that, but come down to Crux Climbing, dude, in Tuscaloosa. Come sweat it out in our freaking garage gym, listen to some freaking punk rock and metal and like, you know, gangster rap and shit, and just come crush with us sometime, dude. I'll get you in for free. It's whatever. Anyway, y'all, I think I've finally catched my breath here. That was pretty interesting, trying to like talk right after cardio like that. Y'all take care. I appreciate all of you, and I actually don't think I quite hit 666 subscribers. Tongue twister. But I figured I'd go ahead and answer those questions anyway. Instead of waiting, God knows when, till I get that one more subscriber, you know, whatever. Anyway, y'all take care. Keep crushing. There's my dog. What are you doing? Peace, y'all.